It is with great certainty that I find myself chuffed to bits to witness the defeat of the loathsome French.
I concur. Let this be the last time France sets their wicked face upon the North American continent. We shall acquire their former French dominions and incorporate them as part of our own.
While it is a time worthy of celebration, I must insist that we procure more territories for our empire, lest the French shall rise again.
Before thinking about expanding our territory, we must focus on our economy. Would it be best to tax the 13 colonies?
I wouldn't worry about that. I have no doubt the colonies shall cooperate without much hesitation.
Fine. Where do you suggest would be a fit place to conquer?
I say we shall go forth and attempt to find the mythical Terra Australis.
Really now? I thought that was a silly theory made up by Greek philosophers that claimed that the lands of the Northern Hemisphere should be balanced by land in the South by equal proportions.
You doubt the veracity of my tale? It was more than over a century ago that the Dutch encountered what they named New Holland. It would be right to assume that the alleged Terra Australis lies close.
All right then, I will send James Cook to set sail around the area to find this so-called Terra Australis of yours. If not, it will be advantageous to set up a base in the Pacific in any case.
Wales, mate. You seem happier than usual.
One can't find much happiness while being subjugated by England, is it? Not a day goes by that I remember those distant days on which I was free from English tyranny, with utter nostalgia.
Golly, I'm really happy to see you too.
Anyway, I'm here to inform you that Cook did reach land, isn't it? Except it was the other half of the island the Dutch had discovered prior. Cook and his crew landed on what they ultimately named Botany Bay and mapped the eastern coast of the island. Afterwards he claimed all of the east side to be a British colony.
Blimey, that's certainly some good news.
And the most marvellous thing of all is the name that Cook chose for the new charted land. New South Wales.
That's rather interesting. I don't recall Cook being Welsh.
One can't help but to notice the similarities, see? As New South Wales is beautiful, green and lush, such as a Welshman's back garden. I can only see a bright future for such distant land. We should settle it immediately.
Well, I'm afraid that might have to wait a tad longer. Our relations with the 13 colonies have been deteriorating with the taxes we've imposed, and the little incident that they call the Boston Massacre.
I still insist that the settlers assaulted our soldiers first.
As expected, I don't have a say on anything, is it? Also, the French have claimed the western side of the island and might settle it in due time.
Oh, not the bloody French again.
As we don't want the despicable French to gain the upper hand on whatever they're planning, we shall send Cook on another voyage to find this Terra Australis once and for all, before the French do.
That these united colonies are, and of right, ought to be free and independent states. They are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain ought to be totally dissolved.
How marvellous.
Is this a bad time?
I'm afraid so. The 13 colonies ultimately defeated our army, and we were forced to recognise their independence as the United States of America. What a dull name.
Lucky them.
They only won because the French aided them, those bastards.
Britain, calm down.
Alas and alack. Every single time it's them. In the face of such treachery, there is but one option. The invasion of France.
Easy there. It's not a big deal. Who needs those 13 colonies anyway? They're all arrogant traitors. We must focus on our other territories and leave those Yankees behind. This seems like a good opportunity to begin the settlement of New South Wales.
Sure. If I recall correctly, didn't France intend to colonise the island too?
This is why we must settle it quickly, isn't it?
But the question arises, who in their sane minds would willingly take the choice to move in such faraway land that lacks the proper infrastructure to sustain a population?
The ones who will forcefully go and settle the island. Meet the convicts.
Oi, what's go, mates?
Right. Without the 13 colonies, we lack a disposing ground for these criminals, which makes this convenient. We should make use of these convicts and use their labour to develop a proper settlement.
Come on now. Why go through all that trouble? Why not just execute us? We're the scum of society after all, right?
Mate, they will. It's all figurative speech. They're sending us to hell.
You'll repay your debt to society by working on the penal colony we're about to establish. Once you complete your sentences, you may be granted a plot of land to start a farm or whatever you endeavour.
That sounds like a plan. We shall rendezvous with New South Wales to begin the settlement.
Ah, g'day fellas. I was just cooking some tucker if you're hungry.
Pray tell, if we haven't delivered any chickens down here, then how did you get those eggs?
These aren't eggs from any chicken. Ha! I fought a big croc so the bastard could give me some nourishing. She's gotta be so pissed now. I'd stay out of the water if I were you.
So, what could you tell us about this place?
Hey? Oh, I'm pretty sure down under's the gateway to hell. I got lucky today and saw a roo and a snake beating each other silly so one of those emus jumps in and put an end to that real quick. This desert's hell all year round. You don't want to pass out here. Before you get a chance to wake up, you might end up being a snack for those bloody dingoes. Or, if you're lucky, you might get your eyes pecked out by those savage fellows. I'm telling you, the dinosaurs didn't go extinct on here. Look at the bloody thing. It's a killing machine. I wrestle one of these before breakfast each day. It's the only way to show 'em who's in charge.
Is this also one of the vile creatures you've described?
Gonna be completely honest with you. I have no clue what the hell this thing is supposed to be. I'm pretty sure this lad is a mammal, though it has the beak and legs of a duck. And of all things, lays eggs. This island's an abomination of nature all year round. And that's why it's so bloody marvellous.
I should remind you that it's not very chivalrous for one to cuss that much, especially being a colony of the Honourable United Kingdom of Great Britain.
Just moments ago you were insulting France for aiding the Yankees in their rebellion.
They only won because the French aided them, those bastards. Except if you're talking about France. Then you may use all the colourful language you like.
And if you two ever try to escape, there's nowhere to go. Literally.
This is a load of rubbish. Cut all the formalities and just blow our brains out.
Oh, just give me the gun, will you, and I'll do it myself.
For the last time, we won't. New South Wales, you have a promising future, and we hope you'll grow into an honourable dominion of the British Empire.
Very well. I would suggest you limit your digestion of alcohol for everyone's sake.
Thanks, lads. See ya. So, why are you here?
In a drunken outrage, just scooped a fellow man's eyes out. In the middle of a pub.
Crikey! You do deserve to be here.
I pretended to be an Egyptian.
Why?
Funny story, it all started in Gloucestershire. I was gambling with a couple of lads, and...
Nah, mate. I'm asking why that is a punishable offence.
Beats me. Anyway, got any beer?
I'll have to make you work, lads. Sorry.
Oh, I failed to remind myself of the impending French menace on New Holland.
The French have bigger problems to worry about now, so I think their claim might fall out of favour.
It happened as Prince Charles was being introduced to the crowd at Darling Harbour. There were 2 shots.
It appears this subject is mad. What a fool! A mere gun cannot hurt me. He should have known that Mommy and I are immortal.